The storm outside the mansion rattled against the glass windows like an omen of something heavy about to unfold. Inside, under the golden lights of crystal chandeliers, a silence lingered that did not belong to such a grand home. Every corner of the place reflected wealth marble floors, velvet drapes, a dining table long enough for 20 people yet, at that very moment. The only sound was the faint creak of a fridge door being opened. A maid, tired and quiet, stood barefoot on the cold floor, her hand trembling as she peeked inside. She thought no one would notice, but the universe had other plans. That simple act, that one moment of desperation, was about to shatter illusions, break down walls, and touch a billionaire's heart in ways money never could. Asterisk before we continue. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Moonlight Stories, and share it with someone who might need a reminder of compassion today. Your support helps us bring more emotional, life-changing stories to the world. Asterisk, the maid's name was Rosa. Her hair was always tied back neatly, her eyes downcast, and her presence so gentle that she seemed almost invisible in the vast mansion. To the billionaire, Mr. Grant, she was just another employee, efficient, silent, replaceable. His world revolved around contracts, luxury, and the endless chase for more wealth. What he didn't know, what he never bothered to ask, was that Rosa's life outside those polished gates was nothing like the golden one inside. Every evening, after cleaning endless rooms, she returned to a tiny apartment at the edge of the city where her frail mother and 2 younger siblings waited for her. The fridge there was almost always empty. The nights were filled not with laughter, but with the low hum of hunger and worry. Rosa worked not for herself, but for survival, for her family, who had no one else. Asterisk, on that fateful night, Rosa hadn't eaten since morning. Her body was weak, her hands shaking as she polished the marble counters. When the master of the house retired to his study, she finally gave in to a pull she had resisted for months. She stepped into the kitchen and slowly opened the grand double-door fridge filled with expensive cheeses, fruits imported from across the world, and enough food to feed an entire neighborhood. Her eyes welled up. She wasn't here to steal, only to feel. She wanted to remind herself what abundance looked like, to imagine what it would be like if her family had even a fraction of this. Her hand brushed against a loaf of bread, and her stomach tightened painfully. She hesitated, fighting against hunger and dignity, when suddenly behind her came the sharp voice of Mr. Grant. Asterisk, in that instant, Rosa froze. The billionaire's eyes narrowed as he saw his maid standing at the fridge. His world of suspicion and mistrust took over. He accused her of stealing, of betrayal. With a voice that echoed through the marble halls, he told her to leave. The maid tried to explain, but her words tangled in fear and shame. That night, in front of the same fridge that mocked her with abundance, Rosa lost the only job that kept her family alive. Asterisk, but destiny has a strange way of revealing truth. Days later, Mr. Grant found himself restless, unable to focus. Something about Rosa's trembling hands and tear-filled eyes haunted him. For a man who had everything, why did her sorrow cut so deeply into his heart? One evening, in search of answers he didn't admit he wanted, he followed a lead from a neighbor and drove to the poor part of the city. What he saw broke him. Asterisk, Rosa's apartment was barely holding together, its walls cracked, the lights dim. Through the window, he saw her siblings sitting on the floor, their faces pale, their eyes tired. Rosa's mother, frail and sick, coughed violently from the corner bed, and in the middle of the room sat Rosa herself, cutting a small piece of stale bread into 3 parts, forcing a smile as she handed it to her siblings, while she herself drank only water. That sight pierced through Mr. Grant's soul. He felt something inside him unravel, something money had buried for years. He realized then it was not theft, not greed, was hunger, love, sacrifice. The maid he had fired had been carrying a world of pain on her shoulders while working silently in his mansion. Asterisk, for the first time in years, Mr. Grant cried. Not the kind of tears that fall for temporary loss, but deep, uncontrollable tears that come when a truth shakes your very foundation. He returned the next morning, not with anger, but with humility. He apologized to Rosa in a trembling voice, his pride stripped away. But more than words, he took action supporting Rosa's family, paying for her mother's treatment, enrolling her siblings in school, and ensuring their fridge at home was never empty again. Rosa, too, found her strength growing back, her eyes lifting with gratitude and hope. The mansion that once echoed with coldness now felt warm again, not because of chandeliers, but because of the quiet, human bond between a billionaire who rediscovered his heart and a maid whose secret taught him compassion. Asterisk, if this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Moonlight Stories. Every interaction helps us reach more people who may need a reminder that kindness still exists in this world. Asterisk, special request to comment. Share below what this story meant to you. Do you believe kindness can change lives? Has anyone ever given you a second chance when you needed it most? We would love to read your thoughts and feature some in future videos. Asterisk.